All right, we are back to answer our questions about our story, Red Ants. That was such a great story. So we're going to read our questions. We're going to read our three choices. Remember, we can only choose one. And then we're going to practice bubbling in our answers just like we're big first graders. Let's read number one together. Ooh, there's our tricky question word, why. Why was Lee's week bad? A dog bit Lee, a rat bit Lee, red ants bit Lee. Good, touch your choice. Very good thinking. If you chose red ants bit Lee, go ahead and give yourself a quiet clap on the back. We're going to bubble in our answer choice. And remember, you want to stay in that circle the best you can. Just like that. Okay, very good. Let's move on to number two. Scott swept the ants from Lee with a brush, his hand, a tree branch. Great thinking. His hand. Remember in the story, Lee had red ants on his leg and Scott used his arm. This illustration is really showing us that answer and this part of the story. It's very detailed. He's using his arm to sweep those ants off of Lee. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bubble in our answer. Remember, nice and neat. And take your time and shade inside your circle, inside your bubble. Number three, Scott said, okay, we have to do some really good thinking and remembering. What did Scott say in the story? What were his words? Scott said, munch on Lee, munch on sweets, munch on plants and weeds. Oh, such smart cardinals. Munch on plants and weeds. We're going to go back into that part of the story. Yes, we're going to go back and find exactly where the story told us that information. This is what good readers do. Good readers can go back into their story and find the part, and they can find the answers that support their thinking. When you get older, you call that evidence. You want to support your thinking. And right here, let's look in our story to see if you can find it. Yes, right here, he said, Miss Nakian's going to underline that, meaning Scott said, munch on plants and weeds. So we're going to go back to our question and bubble that in for number three. We're going to move on to number four. What is one thing that ants said? Now they're asking you to think about what the ants said. Let's go back into our story. Oh, yes. Think about what those ants said. They felt bad, didn't they? We feel bad. We will not munch on Lee. We will munch on plants and weeds. So think about how you could answer this question. What would your complete sentence say? What could you write? Miss Nakian is going to write this sentence. I'm going to start with an uppercase letter. I'm going to use my tripod grip and do my very best 5-star writing. I'm going to write the ants said we feel bad. And I'm going to put my period because remember that's a telling sentence. We call that a statement sentence. So when you answer your question to number 4, when you think about your answer, think about writing it and saying it in a complete sentence. Yes. So that was one answer, one possible answer. Think about what you could write to answer that question. Now we're going to move on to our next part of our paper today. In the box, I want you to illustrate part of the story and then write a little caption, meaning just a word or two. So think about what you could draw in this box right here. Think about the part of the story you could illustrate. Remember to include lots of details. You could definitely draw Scott talking to those ants. You could maybe draw the part where Scott sweeps that red ants off of Lee's leg. I cannot wait to see your detailed illustrations and what part of the story that you chose to draw and write about today. Thank you so much for all your hard work, and Miss Nakan will be with you tomorrow for our next reading lesson. Have a great day.